Went on one Sunday morning when all of a sudden a bolt of lightning came through and crashed the altar. All this rubble and all this dust was all in the way. Well, when it started to clear, standing up at the altar, what was left of it was the devil. Well, when the people looked up, they screamed, they ran, they took off, and they got out of there quicker than you could say. So he looked around. The devil was looking around. He had this big grin on his face, and finally, his big smile, I should say, on his face, and his smile slowly turned to a grin when he looked over and he seen this woman sitting in the front row, and he's like, "Well, hey, lady, you know who I am?" She says, "I sure do." And he says, "Well, how come you didn't run out of here like everybody else did?" She says, "Why should I? I've been married to your brother for the past 40 years."
I like that one. That's a good one, Bill. I like that.
All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I got one for you. There was, in church, we're studying the Book of Acts, and
Okay.
okay, so there was this lady. She was in her house, and she was sitting there reading the Bible. And this guy tried to rob her house. He come in, he tried to rob. She says, "I'm reading the Bible. I'm reading Acts 2:38." And the robber took off. So the police said to the lady, why did the robber take off from your house? And when they asked the robber, he said, "I thought she had an axe in 238." All right, folks.
Here we
For the
go.
way we see it, and I tell you what, we have a blast segment coming up, and that's brought to you tonight.
Oh,
Brought to you in part by Sleep Pittsburgh, 412-462-7858. Get out to Sleep Pittsburgh. Hey, this weekend, Kennywood's got their Halloween thing going on your way out. Leave early. Stop at Sleep Pittsburgh, right on 8th Avenue. On your way out to Kennywood, right in Homestead. Stop in, check out their selection. They have a great selection of futons, day beds. They also have bunk beds, for the kids to get ready for school, or, school is in session, but I mean, more comfortable sleep. Also mattresses and a whole lot more. So sleeppittsburgh.com also has all their selection, and they have no credit check financing. Sleep Pittsburgh Homestead for the best sleep tonight. That number again, 412-462-7858. All right, that was our sponsor, Sleep Pittsburgh. We're in the First Line Consulting Services Studios right here in Allentown. First Line Consulting Services Studios, 1-877-926-6982. Call them today. They will create your website, manage it for you. Check out www.rwmedia.org and see the work that First Line Consulting Services Studio does for you. They are a studio sponsor here for The Way We See It. Our last segment, Bill, let's get started with that tonight. All right, so here
let's
we
do it, brother. Let's do it.
City of Pittsburgh administration, I'm blasting for that homeless camp on the south side. Now, there's a homeless camp on the south side that Marty Griffin from KDK Radio propped up this week. He went up there with a couple guys. One guy is a veteran. He has an organization that helps homeless vets. And they went up there, and I'm blasting this administration because they knew about this homeless camp, Bill. And get this, they even supplied them with porta potties.
Sad.
With porta potties.
They still have bodies on.
There's bikes up there that they stole. They've torn the parts apart, and they're selling the parts individually. Marty Griffin, the police have known about this. I did some checking yesterday when, we know some people in city administration. I talked to somebody. They said the police chief even knows this. Well, why aren't these people in jail for stealing? Why aren't these people in jail for drugs? Why isn't this camp closed down? We have 100. And then this person or these people that we both know, Bill, that know the city officials, told me they didn't even know the new homeless shelter was open on the north side.
That's sad.
Come on, that's a shame.
So sad. So sad.
City administration tonight for the city of Pittsburgh. Shame on you. And then when I said something to the mayor, he got ignorant with me. When I messengered him about this, he got rude and downright ignorant with me. You know what, Ed? I got something for you, okay? You're not doing your job as the mayor of this city, all right? And I got something else coming up later on our key topics. Wait till you hear this about the police that I just found out tonight before we came on the air, all right? You and I talked about it, but we're going to bring it out to everyone later on tonight. All right, next, county council. Here we go. They're at it again. Now they want to sue, and I watched the meeting. I watched the actual meeting. Okay, on YouTube now, you can watch county council meetings. You can watch the jail board meetings. You can watch all that stuff. It's on YouTube. They have their own channel. I watched county council meeting live last week. They want to sue a county executive, Rich Fitzgerald, because of this opening of Schumann Center with this Adelphoi. They claim that according to the charter, and I'm blasting them for doing this tonight because we need Schumann Center. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Judge Kimberly Clark testified at the meeting that we need Schumann Center. And they're against Adelphoi doing this. They've always have been. Okay. I don't have, again, Bill, I'll say this once, I'll say it again. I'll take this inch to get the mile of Schumann Center open. I'll take
Absolutely.
this inch.
Absolutely.
Right? The council doesn't want an inch. They want the mile, and they want to shut it down because they think that Adelphoi has a bad reputation. Again, I didn't have the time to really look up about Adelphoi. I've heard mixed stories from a couple people I reached out to that kind of summarized it for me. Some people say they do their job, and other people say they don't. And you always have that. You have a 50-50 split in any kind of a relationship sometimes. And now there's a 50-50 split here about Adelphoi. We're going to find out what happens. And there's Coco. Hey, Coco. Involved in the conversation. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm blasting county council tonight about this. I think that's wrong for them to be suing the county over this. I know it was a violation of the charter, but we needed to get something done right away. And we don't have the time to play around with them. And that is the way we see it. All right, next.
Really sucks for them.
Next, the kids who looted businesses in Philadelphia. You know what? Shame on you. All because a police officer got off on a shooting that was justified. Justified. He got off on a shooting, and they went and they looted the whole city of Philadelphia. They went and they broke into businesses. They did a bunch of things. Get a life. All right? Stop doing this. All right? So 50 people were rounded up of about 100 juveniles that were involved in this whole thing. All right, so, that is what happened. That is the way we see it. Next, the Social Security Administration for overpayments. You know what? Social Security now is so desperate for money. They're going after people for their overpayments. Mistakes they made. They're going after elderly people, 90 years old, and their loved ones are saying that they can't afford to pay what they're asking, even the monthly payments even high, to pay back the money that was overdrawn. Look, there needs to be a law here, and some politician needs to come up with this law that if Social Security, the IRS, the welfare system, somebody makes a mistake, you shouldn't have to pay for it. That's on them. Okay,
that's right.
That's why I'm blasting the Social Security Administration. This is on you, and I don't want to hear no excuses. Oh, we couldn't hire people. We didn't have enough manpower, and mistakes were made because we got employees overworked. No, that has nothing to do with it. Work yourself, supervisors. Work yourself, higher ups. Get in there and do the job. That's the way I see it tonight. The scammers who use gift cards to scam stores all over Western Pennsylvania. They went into these stores, guys and Bill. They went into these stores, and what they decided to do was try to play some games with gift cards. They were saying they wanted cash back for them of $500. So then they would put the $500 in. They would give them the cash back, but then it wouldn't go through the system because they had it. They didn't have it loaded in the gift card. Steal the money from the store and walk out. They got busted, but there's scammers out there doing this, and it's nothing. It's not just these folks. And they got caught at a Dollar General in Monongahela. And let me say this, it's a big-time racket. It's all across the United States right now, this whole thing. Excuse me. The woman who cashed a check of $6,000, which was intended for, and get this now, the donation for the Tree of Life Synagogue.
Get out of here! What?
Oh, a $6,000 check that was intended for the Tree of Life Synagogue. Shame on you, lady. Shame on you for doing this. This is unacceptable. I don't like what you just did. The Tree of Life Synagogue, the Jewish synagogues these days are having all kinds of issues with terrorism and people just like the guy that did it in 18 and everything else this is a shame.
It's disgusting.
That's why I'm blasting this woman tonight, and that's the way we see it.
That's disgusting. Right. Absolutely.
Another lady. Wow, a lot of women doing a lot of different things here. But anyway, comprehensive health care for not paying their employees overtime. What makes you think that you can get away with an overtime scheme by not paying your employees overtime? And they got caught by the federal government. Look, I know a company I worked for that was involved in that. and they got burnt bad. All right.
Mm.
I worked for a school bus company that got burnt with that, and I ended up getting money in a national lawsuit. Okay.
Oh,
So,
I didn't
so
know
let me
that.
tell you this. Yeah, let me tell you this. It's not funny. It's not funny, and it's not wiseable if you're an employer to try to screw your employees out of overtime.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
labor law that you're not allowed to do. I don't like comprehensive health care. I think they should be shut down for this. That's the way I see it. Next, a lady who hoarded 14 cats in a house alone in a home. Again, another one. She was being evicted, okay? And instead of taking the cats with her, calling the humane people, she left the cats behind. And then when they went I guess to go into the house to finally try to get her out, she was already gone, and there was cats laid in the house, meowing,
Uh,
screaming, hollering. It was terrible. I don't even want to talk about it. It's disgusting. That's why I'm blasting her tonight. That is the way we see it. Next,
Absolutely.
the lady who left her kids in the car, and I just got this one today, and
Here we
went into
go.
a bar and had drinks. Why would you leave your kids in a car to go in a bar and have drinks? And then she told the police, listen to this, Bill. She tells the police, oh, I wasn't in there drinking. I went in there to go play the lottery or go do something. And then when they went in there, she had a shot in her hand.
Well, ain't nothing like getting busted on the spot, baby.
That is the way we see it tonight on that. And that's a shame. All right.
Absolutely.
Last segment's brought to you in part by the Sleep Pittsburgh, 412-462-7858. Call Sleep Pittsburgh tonight, 8th Avenue, Homestead. Go out and check out their selection. Get on their website, sleeppittsburgh.com. They'll do the order for you over the phone. They also will do it online for you as well if you don't choose to talk on the phone. We have a lot of nervous people these days that don't even talk on the phone. They use it for everything but to talk on the phone. And some people use it for everything, nothing else but to talk on the phone. We've seen that already,
Oh,
especially
yes.
people who drive. So,
Oh,
all right. Okay, our boneheaded segment tonight is brought to you by Draft 412. Get a hold of Draft 412 today. Draft412.com. $9 a month is all it takes, folks. $9 a month, and you get the skinny on every type of athlete that's up for a draft, whether it's baseball, football, hockey, basketball, any kind of draft. Draft 412 has it for you. All different types of sports, all kinds of great information. They have an e-magazine that they will put in your inbox for $9 a month, and it's worth the $9 because I have it, and it's worth the $9. Draft 412. All right, our boneheaded segment tonight. The 10-year-old boy, Bill, this was the big story on the news this week. The 10-year-old boy who stole a construction bulldozer in Mount Lebanon and drove it through Brookline.
I just got one question. I
Yeah.
know about that because I heard about it like last week, and it started like the ladder. Was the keys in it, and was it running? How did this kid? I mean, I know YouTube got all that stuff, but
Yeah.
my gosh, that's crazy stuff.
And then another thing, too, which I should have blasted, was the parents. How did the
Oh
parents let
yeah.
this do this and then get this? He had a ghost gun with him or some kind of BB gun or something with him. How do you like that one?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. What? Yeah. What do you do, dudes? Oh, well, you know what, there, Jerome? We're gonna go shopping. Stay in the car and don't worry about anything else. Don't worry about the construction site over there, and let's just just wander on over.
I saw the video, and he was on a Bobcat. He was driving a Bobcat.
No kidding.
Yeah, 10-year-old kid was driving a Bobcat. So, all right. Texas Popeye employee who was on the clock, and guess what he was doing? He was doing drugs and selling drugs to a customer. He got caught and fired. That's a boneheaded move.
Yeah. That's there. You go. That's awesome.
All right.
Right.
A British Airways pilot who was after he here we go. He used cocaine while flying an airplane and then bragged about it to an employee. If I'm going to use cocaine, I'm going to drink while I'm doing an airplane, flying an airplane. I am not bragging to my fellow employees.
Hey, baby. You know what? You know what, baby? I'm a little tipsy here because that's why I did a little coke. It's all right. Don't worry about it.
Oh man, the guy who got pulled over in Mount Lebanon by police and had drugs on him and said he didn't have them. The guy, there's not too many of them tonight, believe it or not. The guy who got arrested for calling in a bomb threat All right, he called in a bomb threat at a bunch of high schools all over the area. He got arrested for a bunch of area schools. All right, bunch of
People have
areas.
nothing better to do with their time, bro. I tell you.
Oh, our boneheaded segment brought to you today by Draft 412. Check out their website, draft412.com, for the skinny on every player, every single solitary player. And also, not only that, they also give you what's going to happen in all the different drafts. You have the NFL draft, the NBA draft, the hockey draft, and the baseball draft. Draft 412, $9 a month.com.
Never
All
cease
right.
to showcase me, brother.
Oh, man. I got to tell you, you know what? That bonehead segment's pretty funny. And Noel is here with his typical thing about Jamarcus Russell, who's a former quarterback of the Jokeland Raiders, who used to be, who was a bum. And he doesn't realize that we don't talk about that here on this program. So,
You know, I kind of like dipped into the game a little bit yesterday, which was very, very sad.
oh, yes, it was. But tomorrow, I'm having a pirate closing show on the Sports Corner show tomorrow. Where I have John Parado coming on, who's a legendary book writer about baseball and the Pirates. He covers them for Pittsburgh Sports Now. And
Nice.
so he's going to be on. Marty Leap from Rum Bunter will be on as well. We're going to dissect this season. There are 14 games ahead of last year's record. The Pirates, it was improvement. I mean, even one game is an improvement,
Oh
but
yeah,
14. I mean, but still, I guess you could say it's 14 games isn't a bad thing. I mean,
yeah. Because what did they win? Like their last 8 or 9 games that they played, like almost straight.
almost straight. Yeah, they lost a
Yeah,
few in between that they shouldn't have lost. But
yeah.
I think we're going to dissect. We're going to say we're going to find out what kind of stuff is needed next year. I say two starting. I say sign some veterans and quit letting them go and trading them. You sign them to 1-year contracts and then you trade them, and then you get guys who you don't even know are going to perform well, and you get these minor league players that are bums. And then so we'll talk about all that tomorrow on Sports Corner, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. every Tuesday. Beaver County Radio. It is 99.3 FM, 12:30 a.m. We're live on Beaver County Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel as well. And don't forget we're on their website, and we're also on their not only on their website, on their app. You can download it to your phone, and also on www.rwmedia.org. Go on my website and check it out. And when you get there, you'll see a little button that says live below Beaver County Radio. Push that button and it'll bring you right up to it, right up onto the Facebook page. So you'll be all
Cool.
set there. So many ways to watch Sports Corner tomorrow with me, Ralph Williams, and Smoke and Jim Frazier. I have a mailbag tomorrow that's just unbelievable. You should see the emails I'm getting, Bill, from Texas, Alaska, all different types of places. Oh, my gosh.
Imagine, brother. I can't even imagine.
Yeah. Show is out there. We have 6 major national sponsors, and we're about to have a 7th coming up.
Nice.
I mean, it's moving. It's out there, man. It's just
it's gonna happen, bro.
Oh,
Definitely.
I know. I want to clean up Western Pennsylvania. I'm due. My time is now, and we're going to see what happens here next week. Next Tuesday, the 10th, we have a Penguin show. Penguins start their season against the Chicago Blackhawks. I'm going to have somebody come on to talk about the Blackhawks as well. I have 2 guests coming on. Joe Kuglis from Draft 412, who covers the Penguins. And also I'm going to have Matt Venzel from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. He's our beat writer. He's coming on. And we're going to talk about the Penguins, dissect this year. Will they make it this year with the talent they have? Can mediocre Mike Sullivan coach it properly? We're going to find out next week. And then the bye week in 2 weeks, the Steelers bye week. Then we can really talk about the Steelers because it's the bye week. There's nothing happening. We're going to find out what goes on with that as well.
Probably lose that game too. It's okay.
That was a disgrace. I have never in my life ever well, other than the San Francisco game, but I'm talking about the Houston Texans now, who can't find their way out of a paper bag. And I mean, they have a new coach, D'Amico Ryans, who coached under Kyle Shanahan down in San Francisco. They have a rookie quarterback who they drafted number 1 in the draft. Okay.
And not afraid to run. I seen that.
Yeah. He's a good kid. He's a good quarterback. But the Steelers, man, they got caught with their pants down. And it was terrible yesterday. I don't know what defensive coordinator Terrell Austin or mediocre Mike was thinking yesterday with this defense that they had against this guy. I really don't know what they were thinking. I didn't
Wasn't
catch
working.
I didn't catch too much of the game. As you know, yesterday was my birthday, and
Yeah.
we were out eating. And I was at an Olive Garden, and I'm not going to say which one, and I'm not going to promote Olive Garden because they don't pay. So, but anyway, I was at an Olive Garden yesterday and enjoying my birthday lunch, dinner kind of thing. And I watched a little bit on the bar TV screen, but that was it. I didn't catch too much of it. I was listening to most of it on the radio. Kenny Pickett's out. This season's practically over, I would think, in the next few weeks if they don't do something by the bye week.
What
You
what
know,
kind of injury he sustained? I didn't see that.
it's got a sprained MCL,
Ooh,
sprained MCL.
that's that's
So
gonna hurt.
that's the preliminary report. We won't know until mediocre Mike comes on tomorrow with his press conference. So we'll find out what he does.
Yeah, right.
So, play calling was horrible on offense again. They couldn't move the football. Uh, I was excited about this season. All the free agents they signed, all the draft picks they had, and I was excited about the season, Bill. And then all of a sudden, now, here we are. We're 2-2, and we can't move the football. And we're supposed to have these two great offensive linemen from the Philadelphia Eagles. But see, my co-host Smoking Jim says all the time, Bill, and he goes like this. He says, Ralph, he says, because he used to be a former NFL scout. He worked for the Steelers. Now he's still an NFL scout. He just freelances now. He doesn't work for the Steelers anymore.
Gotcha.
He
Gotcha.
told me that if a team is getting rid of you for some purpose, you did something wrong, or they don't want you. Okay,
Gotcha.
and if they don't sign you to a free agent contract or anything, or if you are a free agent, they don't sign you to a new contract, something's wrong. So the Steelers, they like to go out and get other people's problems. Like you buy a used car.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes you get people's problems, and but that's what the Steelers are good for. And they went out and they got a bunch of guys this year, and it was thought to be that this was going to be. We should be 4-0 right now. Technically, well, actually 3-1. The San Francisco game, we should be 3-1, and we're 2-2.
Yeah.
And another disgraceful display of a mediocre Steeler football team. But anyway, last week was great. We had our first show last Monday. It was terrific. We had 50 views for the first show, which I
Nice.
think is very good
Nice.
for a first show. 50 views. So that
All
was
right.
great.
Let's see if we can push that a little bit. Hopefully that happen.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then, I had the Sports Corner radio show last Tuesday. It was great as well. And on Beaver County Radio, it's picking up steam all across the country and around the area here. Wednesday, 10:30, I did the Sports Web show with Peter Blake and Mark Mancini. We did the wrestling Turnbuckle Talk. It's every Wednesday at 10:30 p.m. It's a segment called Turnbuckle Talk on the Sports Web. Peter Blake starts that podcast about 9 o'clock, and then he has some guests on. They talk Tampa sports and some other stuff, and then they move into the Turnbuckle Talk segment. Wrestle Talk on Thursday, and then I went and I took my wife to go get examined at the hospital. And I got to tell you, Allegheny General Hospital these days, the cafeteria, we went to the cafeteria to eat, and I got to tell you what, it's the same setup as the one in Youngstown. They have these individual areas now where they have like one area has pizza, one area has sandwiches, another area has, vegan food, another area has Chinese food or something. That's what they had down in Youngstown. It was really nice. Unfortunately, the staff down there was a little ignorant, down in Youngstown. This staff was not ignorant. They were very nice people at the cafeteria there at AGH. And my wife has to go get another shot in her back. It's going to happen on this coming Thursday. But Wrestle Talk, we talked a lot about some major wrestling topics. We have some more coming up this week. And Friday, my new TV got delivered. I finally got my new TV, a nice 50-incher.
Yeah, brother. I was there to witness that.
I appreciate you coming over and getting it put together for me.
Yeah, you got it. No, not an issue. No problem.
Yeah, and then Saturday I took Rhonda to the church for a rehearsal. She sang in choir on Sunday.
Okay.
That was nice. I did my shows. Also, though, we have the external boom on Saturday morning, and then Leo and I did the 10:30 show, telling it like it is. And so, how was your week this week, Bill?
It was something else, brother. I mean, it flew by like the wind, faster than the pregnant nun off the front row of a church pew. And before you know it, here it was the
How was
weekend. Uh,
How was the roads this week?
well, we should just have a
Roads this
segment. We should just have a segment on that. And you talk about the bonehead segment. That would really, really blow up into pretend like we don't know how to drive in Pittsburgh. Nobody has any sense no more whatsoever. So
Oh, you know what? I
we,
get this argument all the time. They say,
hey,
once you go to California, once you go to Nevada, once you go to these places, once you go there, once you go to Montana where you can drive as fast as you want, or why don't you go somewhere else? I said, I've been to Nevada. I've seen what the freeways are like there. I've been to North Carolina. I drove on Raleigh's freeways or highways.
well,
People move. They don't
I
drive at
uh,
the.
I had a wedding. I had a wedding all the way up. Yeah. It was past Clarion. Stop. It was past Clarion. So
Uh-huh.
I felt like I was in a whole nother world, like a multi-universe, because people actually understood what was going on with the roads, like they did.
Right.
They obeyed. They let you go. They were real courteous. But then when I got back to Pittsburgh, I don't know what happened there. Everything just went all the hell back. But anyway, the week went well. It flew by.
Oh,
I had
yeah.
to get ready for everything that I had to get ready
No, I
for.
can't hear you at all. I
The
can't hear
dog.
you
Okay, hang
at
on.
all.
Hang on.
Your volume must have went off.
Hang on for 1 second, brother. Maybe my headphones died.
Yeah, your volume must have went off.
Well,
All right.
okay.
We'll have to get that fixed up. All right, we'll get back to Bill in a few minutes here. He's having some issues with his volume. All right, you got it there? No, not at all.
Okay, hang on. Hold on for 1 second.
Not at all.
Let me minimize my screen. Hang on
All right,
for
Bill's
1
going to
second.
come back. We'll get him back on in a few minutes. But anyway, we're here at the way we see it. We have some key topics coming up shortly as well. All right, how you doing now, Bill?
Are we good?
Still can't hear you. Don't know
Okay,
what
hang on.
happened.
I don't know what happened either. Where'd my mic go? There it is. My mic's
No.
not muted. Nope. Turn off my Bluetooth.
All right.
Is that better? No.
Nope,
Nothing.
still can't hear you.
What happened here? Give me a few minutes here,
No,
brother.
it's not on my end.
No, do your thing. I'll be right back. Give me a few minutes. Sorry, folks.
All right. Okay, Bill's going to try to reboot here. We'll get him back up shortly. But anyway, it was an interesting week last week for my life story, and we have some other things going on today. We have some big time key topics to talk about, including Social Security, trying to go after some of these people for some mistakes that they made. We have some stuff about the mayor coming up in the police department that I just found out tonight, right before we came on the air. You're going to be real interested in hearing this because now the city police union is accusing the city of doing what I said that the progressives were going to do from the beginning, and that's defund the police. All right. I don't think Ed Gainey's that dumb. I don't think he would do that. I know Ed Gainey, but again, nothing surprises me right now because he's not doing anything about the homeless, which we've got something coming up later on about that as well. All right. So, but anyway, I also watched the county executive debate. A lot of stuff this week, with the debate and just a bunch of things happening. The city got some egg on their face. And Billy, we're still waiting for him to come back. So we'll get back to him in a few minutes. All right. But anyway, getting into some of our, let's get into some of our regular topics right now until Bill comes back. And then we'll get him involved in our key topics. All right. There's Bill. Let's see what he's up to. All right.
Can you hear me
All right,
okay?
Bill. Nope. Still can't hear you.
I don't know what's going on. Yeah,
Nope.
all right. Let me see. All right.
Not on my end. That I do know.
That's
Oh, wait.
it's
Okay, I can hear you now. I can hear you
Oh,
now.
you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I
right.
switched out headphones, so you can
Yeah,
hear me okay?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Something
so
going on here?
let's get started with our key topics for tonight. And our key topics are the city of Pittsburgh, about the Southside homeless place. All right, look, Marty Griffin this past week, all right, decided to go and check out a Southside homeless camp, which is behind the old South Stadium, now known as George K. Couple Stadium. It's right under the Wyndham Bridge. It's been there, from what I understand. And this past week, I spoke to a pastor who happens to be the pastor of the church where that kid got killed last week. And I spoke to her this week, and she told me She goes down. You got some kind of interference or something coming, some background noise or something on that.
Let me just put my other headset in. I'll just switch it up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the other one back in. I'm just gonna just switch out my earpiece and.
All right. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
All right. Good. Okay. There we go. All right. That's better.
Okay, hang on. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, good. Let me just do it that way. Let's do it that way, and then whatever I'll do later on, I'll just.
Okay, good. Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear now, and no background noise, so we're good.
Okay. Yeah, we got some of this stuff probably wasn't fully charged anyway.
Yeah, that's cool.
All
I
right,
understand.
we'll just keep it like that.
Right. So anyway, the South Side area has this homeless camp. People go to, there's a storage unit right across, a storage facility right across the street. People have been haggled by these homeless people. They're doing drugs. Marty Griffin walked up to the site with this guy who was involved in veterans for homeless veterans. Okay, they walked up there. They took a look at the site. There's bikes up there galore. They've stolen bikes. They've stolen parts from these bikes, and they've decided to. It's like a bike chop shop up there. They have drug needles everywhere. Okay. And get this, this is the kicker of them all, Bill. The kicker of them all, that they provided them with porta potties.
So, so the first question comes to mind is they obviously they stole Pittsburgh property.
Right.
Correct.
They stole bikes from all over the place. Yeah.
But yet they supplied them with porta potties to go up there. And so it's like you're closing your eyes.
Yeah.
You're closing your eyes to one thing, but it's okay. Put the porta potties over there, say a place to go to bathroom, and and let Margaret get cleaned up, and then Johnny can go in after her. But then we're just gonna don't worry about all the parts you see over there. Don't worry about everything else you see. It's all a fake. It's a big portrait that they paint. What's going on? What's going on?
I'm going to tell you another story. There's a church there called St. John's Ukrainian Catholic Church. I know about it because when I used to go to South High School, when I was younger, I used to go in there and get pierogies for lunch. Okay. And I have, been there to buy pierogies over the years. Lately, I haven't been there in a long time. Them ladies said they had to literally close up the church. People would come in for prayer, and then they would go down and get some pierogies on Thursdays. They had to close up the church because those homeless people were coming into the church and stealing things. Not only were they doing that, they were coming and causing problems, tearing up the bathrooms, going in there, just tearing the church apart. So they had closed church up. They can't have their pierogi sale because they have to keep the doors locked because of this. And here's the interesting of the whole kicker of them all is you and I both know people that go to our church that work for the city.
Absolutely.
Okay? That work for the Gainey administration and that work within his administration.
Yep.
One of them told me yesterday, and this is very disturbing to me. The city police and the chief know about this and they haven't done anything.
See, that's a problem. A problem. I mean, I understand that they're homeless, but yet I get the porta potties and that's cool. But then on the other hand, you have all these bikes missing, and then you go up and you got to see them. What are they going to do? Throw them under their cardboard box?
Right. Yeah, exactly. And like I said, they had all these bikes up there. And when I talked to this pastor this past week, she told me, and this is exactly what she told me. I go down there, Ralph, and I minister to them. And she said, it's a disgrace down there. And she has even brought it to the city's attention. And I got angry with Mayor Gainey, and I told him off. I said, Ed, I says, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. I says, well, Ralph, you don't understand. I don't want to arrest these homeless people even because they need a home. But what they're doing, Bill, is they're destroying our city. They're making our city look bad, a bad image. Have you been downtown lately? Wait a minute. I'm going to tell you a little story here.
I have not.
Went through downtown to beat the traffic because you know how the traffic is from the South Hills on Liberty Bridge.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
No matter what time of day you go, it's a mess.
Absolutely.
Went through downtown. I could not believe what I saw. We had where the Parkway East is, right by the First Avenue PNC building there. There's a homeless camp right between the Grand Street and where the ramp is to get up onto the Parkway.
Really?
Okay. Yeah.
Coke.
All right. Then there's one right on First Avenue, right at the tip on the other side. You know where the tip of First Avenue is there by Grant, right there?
I do.
In that grassy area there? There's a
Yes,
homeless
yes.
camp there. Now, you call 311, and this is what 311 tells you. Well, we're trying to find places for them. Now, I had this argument yesterday with these people at church and that work with the city. Oh, well, we can't do nothing about the Second Avenue homeless place that's closed. I said, do you know about the one on the north side? No.
Well, how are you supposed to not know that if you work for
No.
that doesn't make
You
any
work
sense.
for the city and you don't know. The mayor was over there for the ribbon cutting and you don't know anything about it, and you work for the man?
Wrong. Something's wrong.
Something is wrong with this picture, Bill, and I don't like it. You
know
know
what I think it is, brother? I'm going to tell you what I think it is. I think somebody knows more on the inside, of course, and they're not giving us what's going on, right? That's number one. But then listen to this.
It's destroying our city.
And I think that they are trying to make as much as they possibly can for these homeless people to get put. But in the meantime, it's still falling apart because they're out creating chaos amongst everybody and everything else. But yet it's still not a form of a full ball. They're still mending it, rolling it and getting. But I think that because it's not open, people are starting to really get like, why are you even in that position if you don't know what's going on? And just like you said, the Ed Gainey was there cutting the ribbon. So how do you not know about that?
How can you not know within your administration? How can you not know about that homeless shelter over there?
But then on the other hand, maybe there might be something behind the scenes that, I mean, we're just not seeing, because you know what, as they always said, the government's going to let you know exactly what the government wants you to know. Like, for instance,
well, I got beat up by some people on social media because they said, well, people have to follow rules over there and they don't want to do that, so they'd rather stay out on the street. Look, I would get these people, I'd go over with the police, I'd get them up out of these tents and out of wherever they are. I would take them over there myself and say, you're going in here or you're going to jail. That's the bottom line. Okay?
Exactly.
Get in here, get your help, and get moving. I'd shut that camp down on the south side. Bill Peduto's at fault for this, because let me tell you what he did up on Spring Garden Avenue towards the end near Reserve.
Okay.
There was a guy who, and he again reported this to the news. All right. The news went up there and they took a look at this. There were rats in his yard as big as cats, because there was a homeless camp up in the woods up in there behind his house. Do you know Bill Peduto put portable showers and porta potties up there for them to wash up and use the bathroom?
Oh, I didn't know about that.
And a dumpster that the city truck went up and emptied. A dumpster.
Oh my God. That's out of hand. That's out of hand, brother. That's out of hand.
It is. It is out of hand. It is. And I think it's wrong. And I think something needs to be done about this. And this is our city government at work, folks. And I keep telling you about these progressives. And here I got something else for you. It was reported to me tonight, right before we got on the show, that the city has passed a new budget, and they're only budgeting 849 cops. The original planned budget is for 900. They only have 770. They only have 60 cops right now in a training class. A class of 32 just came out of training. But get this, Bill, it takes 18 months to get these cops in order, to get them to where they need to be. They have to go on field training for 18 months, on field. Okay. So by the time they get done with all this, there's going to be, and I hear at the end of the year, Bill, there's going to be hundreds of retirements. We're in trouble.
And so because they can't get cops to go in, that's number one. They can't get people to be a police officer. That's number one. Number two, just like you had stated, it takes a little bit over, what is it? You said 18 months. So you're talking a year and 9 months or whatever down the road. So then you figure, so here's the revolving door. It's going to keep revolving because it's never going to stop, because especially if you just told me now that they're going to retire, if they're going to retire, they should have something in place that once those retirees retire, then those new kids or whoever can come right in and fill that, because this way here, you're going to lag in a lot of police support like we already do now.
Yeah, and it's been going on since the Peduto administration, because I found out that Peduto didn't like the police because they never supported them in the election. and he never gave them raises. They didn't have a raise in 10 years. Hadn't
That's a
had a
shame.
raise in 10 years.
That's a
Okay,
shame.
now I'll give Ed Gainey credit for one thing, and I hear now that the police union is saying that that Ed Gainey and his administration wants to defund the police. Now I heard a statement tonight from the deputy mayor Pollock. He said that that's not the case. He said that we had to budget it for 849 because we only got 770 right now. We will bump it up to the 900 that's supposed to be budgeted, but according to the police union, they don't trust the city administration. And in one perspective, I don't blame them. Okay. All right. I don't
It's
blame them for
hard.
not the city administration.
It's hard. It's really hard, brother. I mean, come on. We know a lot of people. We did
Yes,
know a
we do.
lot of people,
We do. Yeah.
and on how difficult that is to obtain, maintain, and keep going for what you're promising everybody, but then everything's falling apart at the seams. And you know what?
Right.
Everything falls apart at the seams too quickly. And you know what it is? They take on too much, the more than what they can chew. And then
Right.
now their job is at risk.
Yes.
So what does that look like? Everything starts to fall around them.
Right.
And then they can't pick up the pieces fast enough to put the puzzle back together and to keep it well maintained. So there's going to be a lot of issues coming. And you heard it on this show. The way we see it, guys, there's going to be a lot more issues. There's going to be a lot more issues coming. And I hope that those issues don't come to form.
Oh, no. I think they're going to bite Ed Gainey in the butt. And I think he's a one-term mayor.
Oh, I would have to agree. I would probably have to agree with you on that, brother. Okay. I really do.
And I mean, we both know, Ed has already stated to us that, this job is a little bit tough for him. And he didn't think it was going to be as bad, Bill Peduto really did a number on this city. And, you can't run a city administration from Cappy's bar. And that's what I heard he was doing. And,
And on top of that, I don't even think that, and I understand, when you go and you start to clean up, when Bill was gone, and then Ed start getting in there and start rearranging things. You see, here's the thing, and this is what I would have done. If they were doing that terrible of a job, let the well machine, or at least try to maintain the machine to be well enough to get through. And then later on, after things get situated, then if they're doing that much of a bad job, then get rid of them. Don't get rid of them doing the job that they're supposed to be doing. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. That's like, if the house is burning and the firefighters come and all of a sudden, instead of shooting water out of their water cannons, out of the water hoses, and they're shooting kerosene, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to burn out of control. So the thing is that people just jump too quick, man. And I know we see what's on the outside of this, but on the inside is where I'm coming, relax. And the inside is just so badly maintained, but they want us to see that.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
It's trying to be maintained. And it's like I told you, it's crumbling around them too quick. They don't have enough people in there to do different things, crumbling around, can't pick up the pieces to put the puzzle back together. And it's going to crumble all the way around them. And before you know it, Ed's going to be out.
Well, this was the two main things that I wanted to talk about today. Was this homeless shelter? I told him he's a disgrace.
Yeah, that's
and I was very, very angry with him. I know we're friends of his, but you know what? On this program, nothing is set and nothing. I mean, if you don't do your job, I'm going to tell you we're going to tell you don't do your job. And that's
absolutely.
And I mean, this is just unbelievable. This is a disgrace, and I cannot believe what I'm seeing here. As long as you and I have lived in the city, this is just terrible. Now, I have something for you. Okay, I don't know if I mentioned this last week. I don't think I did. Well, you and I had a conversation about this. Target released a statement this week, that they're starting to do like Walmart now. They're starting to close up stores that are caused by retail theft. Okay, you're not going to believe this. This is shocking to me. And when I said this to some of my friends that I know that live downtown, and I know a couple people that I know that shop at downtown on their way home from the office, they stop at this store, at this Target. The Target downtown right now, as of right now, is number one in theft in all of Western Pennsylvania. Number one in theft. And they haven't even been open 6 months, Bill. 6 months. And this is a result of the stuff that's been going on downtown.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. You
This
said it
is
right
the
there.
result of it.
Well,
Okay,
here's the
the
thing.
result
The,
of it.
the situation was, and East Lib, and they got that
Yeah,
two-story Target over there, right?
right, right,
So at first, when that place first opened up, they had just a security outfit in there. Then
right.
all of a sudden, as the years started to dwindle on the maturity of the business down there, then I started seeing Pittsburgh police, and there was a couple cops that I knew down there. So I started talking to them, and they says, "Listen, this was before all this Target down in downtown Pittsburgh now.
Downtown,
So
right,
yeah, keep
right.
that out of your mind because the Target wasn't even downtown Pittsburgh." They
No, it's
said
only been open 6 months.
the theft was so bad
Not even
over
that.
the theft was so bad over at the one in East Lib that they
Yes.
have us surrounding the building, and there's different cops that are in there that's undercover because the security company couldn't handle all of the situations that were going on down there.
Well,
So
that's a bad
now,
design anyway, Bill. Look at the garage. Look at where the
oh
garage
yeah,
is at, and then you got to go in the garage. They've had theft at the garage. People have
oh
been
yeah,
mugged, robbed, beat up,
yep, yeah,
even shot at and murdered. I mean,
yeah.
there's been a few there. So, I mean, that's been a bad situation. But yeah, the one downtown is number one in Western Pennsylvania, and Target is starting to close stores down. They already started in Oregon. Portland, I watched the Donald Trump speech, and he brought that up. He says, "How come our president hasn't done anything about Portland, Oregon? Portland, Oregon is so bad right now. They have the highest homeless rate beyond L.A. I didn't think anybody
Ooh,
could beat L.A. based on what
I
I've
didn't
seen.
either. Yeah, I
Okay,
didn't either. I didn't either.
well, Portland, Oregon has number one in the country in homeless
No
per
kidding.
capita. Okay, now get this. Now, Portland's so bad, the Walmart closed every store in the Portland region.
Oh
Every
my gosh.
single Walmart is closed in Portland because
Oh
of
my.
theft. And now Walmart is not even they're not even putting any more loss prevention people. They're just shutting these stores down. They don't
Yeah,
even care. And now Target's starting to follow suit now because
yeah.
they've had enough. So, and in Washington, I think outside of Seattle, there's a suburb that's like really bad or something. They shut down the two Target stores that were there. They closed them down.
Wow. I
So,
you know
these people
I
are just
hope.
I mean, you want a store there, and you got a store. You got a nice store downtown, a nice Target store that's convenient for people, and you have these numbskulls and these idiots and morons that decide they're gonna turn it into a crap hole.
Especially downtown Pittsburgh, that's wonderful and that's beautiful. All the people working around there, and then you got to go Christmas shopping, and because the holidays are right
Oh,
around the corner now,
yes,
and all this other
yes,
stuff, right? And if this is open six
yes.
months and it's one of the highest targeted, no pun intended, target on the map
Map.
already, and
Yeah,
it's only 6 months into it, what do you think's going to happen around the holidays if it even makes it till Christmas?
yeah, exactly. And then on top of this, Burlington just moved in there in that Kaufman's building.
You
Burlington,
told
they
me
just,
about that too. Yeah,
yeah,
you were
they
telling
just
me about
opened
that.
up. So with Burlington moving in that building from the old building, they had theft problems for years. It was so bad with the homeless and everything, they had to close their bathrooms up, their
Oh
public
my,
bathrooms. Yeah,
yeah. To get
and
in
and,
here and
and
go try to go
and
get
I
cleaned
heard
up.
they shut down a lot of the cashier things in there and put it in one section. Like you have just one cashier or two, a set of four cashier things, but they're all together. Like the
Yeah, I
men's
got you.
section don't have their own no more, and the women's section don't have their own no more. I've been down there after COVID, and this is what they're doing. And they said they had to do it because of theft too.
Oh
So
wow.
I mean,
And
it's disgusting.
it's just it's disgusting. It really is. I mean, I understand that the wheels falling apart. We all understand the wheels falling apart. All you gotta do is look around, people. Open up your eyes and look around because it's all over the place. There's
Have you been to
nothing
a Walmart lately?
I have not. Scratch that. Up at the mills about 2 weeks ago.
Okay, I went to the one in Robinson about a week ago or more. Okay. Do you know now that all the Walmarts, when you walk in, they have gates in front of there, and when you walk in, the gate opens up. Okay, and then you
Oh,
go in through the gate, and when you go out, you have to exit out the gate. Okay,
I
to
didn't
get
see.
out.
No, the only
Yeah,
thing they had up at the Walmart now, this could have changed in the last 2 weeks now because it's been two
right.
weeks. Was when you go into the store, wherever you go in,
Yeah,
you got to come out the one end or whatever. However,
right.
but they had people standing out there, employees of
Yeah,
Walmart
yeah.
asking you for
Stamping
receipts.
stamping receipts and stuff.
Yeah,
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 I've
yeah.
seen that. Yeah,
That's all I seen. But I mean, if something's changed ever since the last time I've been up there, I'm gonna have to go up and check it out now because
Well,
again,
check
this
the
was
one.
2 weeks
I
ago.
haven't been to the one in the Mills in a while. I wasn't happy with their stock selection up there. So
Okay.
I went to the one in Robinson recently, and they're doing like the one in West Mifflin. The one in West Mifflin has those bars. You walk in, and the gate
Oh,
opens up. You walk through. You walk out. You have to walk out the gate, and the gate will open up. Okay, you have to walk out that gate.
no kidding.
Okay, you can't just run or go in and out or go the opposite side. You have to actually. It's coordinated. Okay,
No
and
kidding. Okay.
then they have a separate on the right hand side. They have a separate gate to get into the pharmacy.
Oh,
Okay. So
okay.
that way you don't walk in and turn right and steal something and come back out and you have to actually go through that gate to get out.
Yeah,
If you go
especially.
in, walk right in, turn right, go into the pharmacy area, steal something, turn around, walk out, and go out the door. You can't do that no more. They got gates there now.
I got you. Well, yeah, especially to the pharmacy. I mean, that's great. I
Yeah.
mean, with the narcotics and all the other stuff
Yeah.
that's out there that people
Right.
can steal and do whatever and sell on the
Yeah.
streets.
Stealing
I
bed
didn't know
gas,
that.
heating pads and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that. So you're telling me the one
Yeah.
in West Mifflin has that now?
And the one in Robinson has it.
Oh, Robinson too. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I might have.
Moon, and I'm not saying go out and steal, but Moon, my mom even said this. We
Go out
went
and
to the
steal.
one on Moon and walked right out the door, and we could have had a 50-inch TV in our hand, and nobody would have said anything. There was nobody at the door. There was no gates or nothing. Now, I don't know what it is now. We haven't been there in months, okay? So, because I was unhappy because, I'm in a wheelchair, and I needed
Yeah.
to get a scooter, and they have them old scooters out there that the battery don't hold, and
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and every time you get one, the battery's dead. So
Yeah.
I stopped going to that one. Okay.
Yeah,
I
because
like
nobody
that one. It's clean,
nobody
but
nobody
it's
plugs them in.
yeah,
Nobody
nobody
plugs them
plugs
in,
them in.
brother.
Yeah.
They use them. And they run all throughout the store,
Yeah.
drain the battery, and then when somebody needs it, who really, really needs it, who is handicapped such as yourself and needs the wheelchair to
Right.
get around, power chair, then next thing you know, you go in like my late great Aunt Joe. She was the same way. That's the
Right.
reason why she hated to go shopping.
I'll tell you another story I found out this week. Dick's is laying off people in their executive office. You know why?
No
Because
kidding.
they had billions of dollars worth of theft.
Oh my God.
And they're
See, it's
laying
inside.
people off in the executive office. And get this,
It's
nobody cares.
it's
Nobody cares.
it's inside. You just said it right there. You just
Yeah.
opened up a whole can of worms. There you
50
are.
people in the executive office got laid off because of theft in the stores. It's so bad that inside. Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I mean. I mean,
Yeah.
we're only seeing what the people want us to
Right.
see on the surface. What's deep
Yeah.
down?
And
We don't
Target
see.
now, like I said before, is starting to do this now. And if
Well,
this downtown location continues to have these problems, I
it's
don't
gonna
see
go.
that as staying open. And I
It's gonna
talked to
go.
people, like I said, I know somebody lives down. I know some people that live downtown. And I spoke to a guy. He lives up here near me up here. On his way home from his job, he stops in there every night to get groceries because
Okay.
that's a little grocery store in there. And
Yeah.
he goes in there, he'll grab a brush or a comb or aftershave or whatever. He grabs what he needs to grab in there and he goes home. It's the easiest thing for him to do. And now he says he hopes they don't shut that down because of theft. It's amazing. It really is.
I
And
mean,
this
when
is
you start, when you're losing all that in one store like that, I mean, unless they do something with the security.
I couldn't believe about Dick's.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
could. Well, yeah, yeah. I didn't know about
oh,
that.
gosh,
I did
yeah,
not know about that. But see, that's what I'm saying, brother. Everything is done on the inside. People are thieving from the
inside.
inside
Yeah, the
because they
employees,
know how
they're
it's
stealing.
run.
How it's run. Yeah, they're stealing.
Yes,
Not only are the
yes.
employees stealing, not all of them, but there's a majority of them that do steal.
What was
Why do
that?
you think? Why do you think businesses, Bill, shut down when they go on vacation now? Remember
Oh,
back in the
absolutely.
day, somebody would run the store
Yeah,
when the owner would go on vacation. They shut
yeah,
it down. The bar
yeah.
shut it. They shut the bar down. They shut whatever down.
So you're bringing it. I'm just taking this back just a little bit. I know this is a little offbeat, but it's kind of in the same realm that we're talking about. Do you remember? Or I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but there was a lady who was working for a church.
Mm-hmm.
She was like the main secretary of this church.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Do you remember hearing this story? What she
Yes,
did?
I did. Yes.
Okay, so again, on the inside, she stole hundreds of thousands of dollars from this church. Then they went to court, and I don't know exactly what resolved of that because I didn't follow it after that. I think maybe she went to jail, but there was no. I mean, from what I was hearing from the reports, they were sitting in court and they was giving her the sentence, and I couldn't remember what it was, but
the thing is that there was like nothing there. Like, well, aren't you sorry? You've taken people's collection that they're putting in for the church to run.
You care.
That's what I'm saying. So,
Yeah.
and she's like, and from what I was told, oh, I don't, what's the matter with you, man? Are you just
And listen to what the bulk of the reasons why they steal. They want to go on these exotic vacations. Okay, that's what they want to do.
Well, she did.
Okay, right. They want to go on exotic vacations. They buy these boats, mobile or RVs. Okay, that's the second. And you want to know what the third is? Gambling.
Oh yeah,
Gambling debt. The one woman I remember, she stole from a nursing home. I blasted her on this program, $50,000.
I remember
and guess
that.
what it was used for? To pay a gambling debt.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Well,
yeah.
I know we bark and hype on the city, but think about what we just opened up there right now. What's going on the inside? Because
on the inside,
you know, what we see, that's what they want us to see, and what they want us to know.
Right
now, like you said, everything's on the inside. It's an inside job, and somebody's doing something like stealing from. I wouldn't be surprised if other major corporations that we don't even know about right at this point in time, right now, as we speak, that somebody's going through the exact same
what
thing.
I always say, don't you? They're putting their hands in a cookie jar.
And they're getting busted.
I mean,
that's the whole. And just like you said, brother, when they're there and in front of the judge, they're just like, oh well.
Yeah, like no remorse, nobody cares. You know, that you steal off of old people, in nursing homes and stuff like that, and scam these people, and it's back to what I've been saying for many months and throughout the last couple of years, Bill. Nothing and nobody cares.
Exactly.
Nobody
Listen,
cares.
I'm going to tell you something just real quick. A couple of months ago, and I haven't told you this story, but a couple of months ago, I was heading up 79. I was going up to a campground.
Okay.
All of a sudden, and you know that I had that blue Nissan at the time.
Yes.
So I was right where the 79, where 279 and 79 meet. Or was that 579, 279? Where they meet, the 279 and 79 meet.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there are always accidents there all the time.
My tire on the right-hand side of the passenger front blew.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled over, safely enough, threw my four-ways on. And that, you know how busy and congested that place is.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I was 45 minutes into getting the tire because I took all my jacks and everything out of the car. I didn't have no power tools with me. So it took me 90 years to get my tire changed. But I almost had it changed. Do you know all these people drove by, none of them pulled over. Now, here's the kicker. There was no state cops around until I was almost done with my tire. No one person pulled and said, hey, do you need help with something? Blah, blah, blah.
Those days are over because you know why?
Exactly.
People get shot. I've seen people pull over to help somebody with a tire and they will turn around and shoot them and rob them.
Exactly.
I've heard of that already.
And the state troopers, I mean, there was only the one guy who came. And I was there for almost an hour and a half because it took me like 90 years to do this thing. So people, if you ever get a flat and you have to use a scissor jack, please arm yourself with a 1/2-inch impact wrench that you can get. Make sure you have the proper sockets for it. Because I'm telling you what, it was forever, Ralph. And nobody came to say, do you need help? Do you need this? Nobody. And this was a couple of months ago.
They'd rather steal from you and they'd rather rob you than
exactly. Oh, driving down the road. Oh, look, there's a broke down Mercedes-Benz. Maybe we should go take his rims.
Yeah, exactly. Or take his wallet. I mean, steal his phone. That kind of thing. You know? All right. That's the way we see it tonight about all that. Let's get into the county council executives debate. I watched that on Thursday. I sent you the video. What were your thoughts on this, Bill? We'll go with you first on this.
I really, I'm nowhere near candidate politically correct, however you want to say it, like you are. You know more about that. But from what I've seen, and from when Ken Rice and were given the interviews, I liked Rocky's responses on a lot of things. There was no hesitation about some of the stuff that he was asked. There was no hesitation. He came up with the answers like this, and it flowed. And then the other one, what is her name? Sarah
Innamorato,
Innamorato, okay. And when they would ask her, I remember Ken Rice says, well, Rocky gave us a straightforward answer. Well, how about you? well, I think, well, you know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
so if he can give an answer, but then you're over there saying, well, I think, well, it's crazy. I like Rocky. I like his thoughts. I like for what I've seen, just for that little bit I
Yeah.
seen.
Yeah.
I really do. What about you?
Yeah. Well, here, I'll tell you, I wasn't very pleased with Almirado because, first of all, she was very unprofessional. And let me tell you how. Rocky says, I thank Sarah Almirado for being here for this debate. Okay. Then when it was her turn to talk, she didn't say, well, I thank Mr. Rocky for being here. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes,
And
I do.
she acted all snooty, like, her doo-doo don't stink. You know what I mean? And then I didn't like that, first of all. And then her answers, like you said, and I even told you, I said, it sounded like a book report. I mean, she kept, instead of giving straight yes or no, straight up answers like Rocky did, she was going, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And they were just so long drawn out. And, you know, you don't have time for that. And I think she didn't plan properly. And if this is the way she is here, oh, we're in trouble.
Rocky got straight to the point. He got done. He answered the question. I mean, it was smooth. And her,
right. Yes,
you know,
it was.
Just like you said, you sound like she was reading a book report. Well, Mr.
Yeah.
Thomas, well, I think that this is well, let's see. Let me go back a little bit. You know, and Ken Rice was like,
oh, he was losing his patience. And you know what? I've never seen Ken Rice lose his patience like that ever.
He's a good dude. I've met him on many occasions.
Yes, he is for KDK. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I said, if these people in this town vote for this lady, and she's our county executive, move out. Because I'm telling you, it's going to be worse. If you thought Xander Orenstein was bad, and you thought what's going on right now with these progressives, wait till she gets into office. You better hope she don't get elected, because again, I try to tell everybody, and nobody believed me. And now the writing's on the wall, Bill. And now
it's right in front of you,
because she's been exposed. And if you don't see it, then you're as blind as Stevie Wonder can see it. That's how bad this is.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what, brother? Like I said, I don't get into the politics like you do. And, you know, you're definitely more in tune with all that. But from what I've seen just from that little interview, I really do like Rocky a lot more. I was not getting the right kind of. And you know who my family was, when all my uncles were alive, they were like, "Well, you know, you got to vote for this, or you know, you got to vote for that," or you know. And he would, you know, they would always try to tell me who, you know, and you know, at least give me some inside information. Right. But you know, they're no longer here, and I can't even imagine. They're probably turning around. They're probably ready to throw lightning bolts at all these people. Like, what are you trying to do down here, man?
This is crazy.
It's crazy, man. It's absolutely.
And I didn't like her answers. I didn't like her snotty attitude.
Nope.
You know, and I think she's going to go down. And let me say this: I read some articles, and I checked out some polls, and Rocky's catching up big time.
Oh, he's gonna pass her.
I think he's going to win. I think he's going to beat her. I think it's going to be a dogfight, but I think he's going to beat her. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be by landslide. If it is, I'll be real surprised, because we have a lot of progressive Democrats in this town, and look at the damage they've done already. Yep. So, I mean, you know, we can't afford to have no more of the Xander Orensteins and all these other people running around here doing this ridiculous things, you know. And we talked about last week, or we talked about the pass the buck thing with the magistrates. We talked about that last week. That was disgusting. Again, here we are, you know, and it's this progressive Democrats.
You know, here's the thing, brother. You know, we are all in this vicious circle, okay? My mother always said, and this is from my mother, so and this is going out to everybody out there in Happy Land, Video Land, whatever, Audio Land, everything. But my mother always used to say, hey, listen, make sure you do the job yourself and make sure you lead yourself better, because anybody can take you to the well, but they can never force you to drink. So what basically what I'm saying is that we are being led by people who get into these offices and make false promises.
Right.
And
well, we've had a lot of that over the years,
well,
Bill.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. I mean false promises.
That's common knowledge. I mean,
never nothing goes through the way that they planted. Then when they try to attack this, they fall off the wagon, and then they try to come back and they say, "Oh, we're going to leave that go." You know what it is that we need just to. I don't even know how to say this, but it's just we just need to be more stable in what we do, and like really think more and more and more about everything that's going on. Just like you brought to our attention many times, and you said it. I know you said it because I've been around you as you said it about the progressives. I know you have because you've told me about it.
Right here, that debate was the example. And when I sent you the video, I said, "Here's the example that I need to share with everybody tonight about this."
Absolutely. And then when we did that, was it that Democratic Party we did?
The Republican one.
Yeah, the Republican Party. I'm sorry. Forgive me, Democrats. Forgive me, Republicans. Forgive me.
Loyal.
Yeah, right. You see what
Nobody's
happened?
loyal. We heard that. I couldn't believe what I heard.
So, the thing is that, I mean, everybody's trying to lead everybody to the well, but are you gonna be forced to drink? That's the thing. Right. That's the thing. You gotta. Right. It's tough. I know. When it comes to voting and all that stuff, it's all on our hands. But in the meantime, though, really do your homework on these people because when you don't.
Yeah, exactly. Don't just vote for them because they say, "Oh, well, we're going to defund the police," and ha ha ha. Now I can go out and commit all the crimes I want because these progressives want to defund the police. And
you
then
might
we gave
be
an
like
example earlier of what the union's thinking with the city police now. With these cuts and cops, they think they want to defund the police now.
If they were even, I'm telling you what, they all the people who are watching this video and listening and everything, they're gonna, if they would do that, you guys better go out and get one hell of a home security system.
Why do you think gun permits are up sky high?
Well, no, wait. Did you seen the movie The Purge, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what's going to happen. You better go out and you better get one hell of a security system where it's going to take care of all your windows and make sure you ain't leaving because it's going to happen, and it will, especially if stupid things like that they're going to try to do. Yeah, they're going to try. They're just going to bring this world down to its knees even more.
Right.
And,
well, one other thing I left out about that thing with the police, the city police, Deputy Mayor Pollock said that that was a typo error, the 849. It was actually intended for 850, not 849. That was a typo error.
Oh,
and he said that again, like I said, that's based on what they can get in there, through the recruitment and things like that, because they're having issues right now. And they have guys retiring and going somewhere else, taking their pension and going to Whitehall or going to Bethel Park or going to West Deer or wherever, and working part-time for them and making money.
Yeah, because they pay you more?
City police because of what's going on. And I don't blame people for not being a city.
I don't blame them either. But those little police stations over there, they would pay you more. West Deer, Indiana Township, things like that. They would pay you more. The crime
Northern Regional. Places. Yeah.
I mean, how much of an
and the people appreciate the cops. They don't appreciate the cops here in Pittsburgh.
No, they do not. Nope.
If they did, you wouldn't have the Jim Rogers of the world. You wouldn't have the one that went downtown about a month ago where they busted that guy on a Friday night and they told him not to put his hands in his pocket, and he reached in and pulled out a knife.
And they shot him.
And they no, they didn't shoot him. They beat him up and then they put him in jail. But they had to use excessive force to get him down because he wasn't cooperating. There's no respect for police.
That's what I'm saying. Like many years ago, and I know you're I'm going to call the police, and you're like, oh my God, she's going to call the police. But now today, I'm going to call the police. Well, go ahead. We'll invite them over for some donuts and milk.
That's what they do. They laugh. They go,
yeah, that's exactly. Well, they're just like, go ahead, call the police. It's just like, it's ridiculous. And it's a shame. I mean, the respect for the authoritative figure has gone. Oh yeah, Coco, say hi, Uncle Ralph. It's gone down the tube so far, brother, and it's just a shame.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
It's killing me, man.
All right, next we're going to talk about county council wants to sue and has authorized to sue. They're going to look into this legally because, according to Bethany Hallam, now a law has been broken. And supposedly now, but the Republican part of the county council says that government is permitted to do whatever means necessary for safety of the county. And what I'm saying is the Schumann Center thing.
Yeah.
The progressive Democrats on county council, the Bethany Hallams and some of these other ones, they want to sue County Executive Rich Fitzgerald, Judge Kimberly Clark, the head judge, and whoever else was involved in the Schumann Center deal, because they were not informed or brought into it to vote to approve of this. Okay, now it does say in the county charter that you have to get them involved, but the Republicans are fighting them. The Republican county council people are fighting them because the progressive Democrats here, because that isn't necessarily true. If you look in the charter, it says the government can step in any means necessary for the safety of the county. Okay. All right. And what they're trying to say is that Judge Kimberly Clark, the county executive, and everyone else do not have the right to just open up a government entity without getting the approval or bringing it to county council's attention. Okay. And there are some of these progressive Democrats that are for this opening of Schumann Center, but they were upset because they were not informed. It was not brought to their attention. They couldn't vote on it. I think this is a bunch of political pandering here. If I'm anybody, whether I like Adelphoi or not, I want Schumann Center open because of the safety of this county. And I think what Judge Clark did was proper. I think she went and she got a coalition of people together, the county executive, the sheriff, and everyone else, and said, we're going to open up Schumann Center because we have a crisis here. And she even came to speak to them to tell them that why she did what she did, because we have a crisis here. What part of we have a crisis here don't you understand? And here's what the progressives want to do, Bill. They don't want to put these juveniles in jail. They want to put them in programs.
Now, I disagree with that, because just like you said, I think it was last week you had mentioned that they wanted to put them in programs, to put them in a program in your house.
Well, no, they had them on home detention because they didn't have room in the facilities. And I'm hearing stories now that they had to ship, and Judge Clark brought up, they had to ship some of these kids to Texas because in all around the East Coast, there's no room for these kids.
See, this is what I mean.
First to Texas.
Well, first of all, let's go back on that for 1 second on how you said that they're going to do the home detention. Listen, if you're home, there's no detention at home. I don't care who you are.
No.
I mean,
we talked about that last week. You got cell phone, you got the computer,
That's
you
what
got,
I'm saying.
you know,
you got PlayStations, you got big,
Zoom, you know,
you got big screens TV, you got your communication world all in front of you. Now, however, that Schumann Detention Center gets reopened and gets that moved to get these kids in there. There's going to be a part where they're going to have TV time and all that, but it's not going to be
at home
detention to where they have the accessibility to move all throughout the home. The only thing that would actually keep those kids in their home is when they have that ankle bracelet on, or however they would monitor them, which usually it's the ankle bracelet, and they get, 150 feet, 200 feet away from the house, then the alarms go off. If you ain't back in a certain amount of time, the cops are at your door.
Right.
So
but they were sewing them off, taking them off and laughing. The one kid that shot those people, remember where our friend George, who's a deacon at that church out in Brighton Heights, he was in the middle of that. And if his daughter didn't move him out of the way, he would have got shot. He would have got killed. Okay.
This is what I'm saying.
Took the ankle bracelet off, laughed it off on social media, and went and killed that kid.
There is no kind of security around that for whatsoever. If you're if you're in a facility, properly maintained, which I say properly maintained loosely, but you know how that goes. But still, get them in there, start it, see what happens. Because let me tell you something. If
I would rather them start it up, and if it's bad, cancel the contract. That's what I would rather them do. And Adelphoi has a better positive reputation than negative. Now, of course, this happens everywhere. Okay.
Oh,
I know of a Lutheran home facility for juveniles up in Zelienople. Okay. My sister was in it. All right. And it was tough then. But they closed it down about 5 years ago because the monitors or the people up there were doing some things that they shouldn't have been doing to these kids.
Understandable.
All right. So anyway, I heard that the Schumann employees that originally were there working for the county, the majority of them were on drugs. there was a kid in there that OD'd on drugs and they didn't report it. It was on heroin. How do you get the heroin in there? Okay.
Somebody from the inside to the out.
Right. Right. So if the state closed this down because of the negligence of the county for the employees that they hired, I'll take a Delfoy any day of the week.
Sure.
Okay. All right. And a Delfoy runs 30 facilities across the state.
Well, they got to be doing something right if they're doing 30 facilities and they're trying to moan and complain about this one over here. Listen, folks, you got to open up your eyes a little bit.
We can't delay it no more. It has
No,
to be
exactly.
open.
It
It's
has
been
to be
closed
open.
for 2
You're
years, and we
That's
can't
right.
afford this anymore. Okay.
No.
All right. We can't have this. And
You got
now
these-
that the announcement of Schumann's been open, guess what? Violence with juveniles is down since the announcement.
Yeah, and I'm sure because listen, even when I worked, and you know what I did for the
Right.
city,
Yeah.
I would go up there on many occasions. And let me tell you something: when those judges are up there, they pass some decent sentences on these kids. And then, of course, you hear the mothers and the fathers, oh, my God, my baby's going away for 6 months.
Well, my
Needs to
baby
go
didn't
away
do
for a
that.
lot more than 6 months.
Oh,
They need to go away a lot more than 6 months and go ahead and get them back into shape and then send them back home. But then in the meantime, why don't you go ahead and try to parent a little bit better around these kids too? Quit babies having
It
babies.
falls on the parent, and there's no responsibility anymore. Look at the schools.
That's right.
Teachers don't want to teach because the parents complain too much, and then instead of the school board hauling the parents to the carpet, like Pittsburgh Public Schools, guess what their idea is of detention? No detention. Program. We're going to form programs. We're going to put them in a program.
Listen.
Oh, we can't do detention. Oh no, we can't do that. No.
Oh no, listen. You know what scares me the most, and I know I mentioned this to you when I was doing the stuff for the city. And I went into Westinghouse. When I went into Westinghouse High School, well, it's been more now than 10 years, and I'm sure that they probably still have it. They actually had a daycare set up in Westinghouse High School. When you walk up the main steps in Westinghouse High School, off to the right-hand side, the babies that the kids were bringing in because their mothers and fathers aren't home. At least the good ones weren't home to try to take care, and it's bad enough that they're teenagers as it is coming to school with a kid, you know, but they put them in the daycare in the school. Now here, riots happened over there a lot more than any other school. There was a lot of stuff going on. The very first thing that they would do is they would lock those babies down. You couldn't get in there. There was a big separation from the main hall, so that was fantastic. But think about that though.
Back when we went to school, that didn't happen.
There was none of that.
No, not at all.
Man, you even think about having a baby.
A lot of times you went after the parents. Yes. And I think what's wrong is these school districts have no backbone. I think the government has no backbone. And if I'm the school district, I would start hauling some of these parents to jail too. I'd say, look, if your son, I would say if your son or daughter decides to, commit a crime and they commit more than, we'll give them 3 crimes. Okay. The 3 strikes program. If they commit more than 3 crimes, you go to jail.
Well, here's the thing too. You might also start to find some resolution behind that because they're like, oh, we can't go to jail because So just think about that.
My home life.
Yeah.
Well, you made it that way.
Exactly. But if they were like, your parents are going to jail, the resolution is right there. The parents are going in. Here comes the grandparents now, because the grandparents that are still alive, they're going to take care of those babies because that's, you know what I mean? But they're going to be very mad at either their son or daughter who's done and did this to take that child and totally do that. So just think about that. The resolution would be, like you said, the 3 strikes program. Yeah. Parents are going into jail or wherever you're going to go and try to get them situated. Because
I'm tired of these parents coming on going, oh, my son wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I know. It's never.
Well, then again, too, like the shooting in Garfield, like the Jim Rogers situation, and I brought this, and I've played devil's advocate on both ends of this. Okay. They hired that cop back this week who was involved in the Jim Rogers that got fired. They hired him back, okay, with pay and benefits. Everybody's beefing about how they brought that cop back. Well, first of all, I said this many times. Jim Rogers was a thief. He stole something. He was busted. He was homeless. Where was his family at? You want to know when his family showed up? Because they want to sue now because he's dead. Where was his family at to put this guy in a program or to help this guy out?
So you're coming after the city, or it is the city, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. That was the one that happened down in Bloomfield there on Harriet Street. Remember?
Was that the one who got was that guy
he got
tased?
tased? Yeah.
Yeah, I heard. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're coming out of the woodwork now. Well, all of a sudden, and here they are. Oh my God! Well, he was homeless, and yet you go ahead and beat a homeless man to death and all this other stuff. But it's okay to come in.
Listening. He was
Exactly.
told to put his hands up in the air, get on your knees, and keep your mouth shut. What did he do? He kept doing this. That's what he kept doing, and then he kept moving around, and the cop was trying to tell him, "Stop moving around, or I'm going to tase you." So he tased him. Okay.
Well, here's the thing.
Same thing with the one on Friday night a month ago, the one downtown. Okay.
Oh yeah.
He didn't listen. He was told not to put his hands in his pocket because he reached in there and he pulled a knife out and he went after cops with that. And they try to use that knife on some cops. That's the real story. Okay. And I know what you saw in the video, everyone. And I know what I saw in the video. But these people deserve this when you don't listen.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's that simple.
Why do you have police officer in place? This is what I'm saying.
There are some of them that are bad. There are some of them that are racist. There are some of them that are horrible. They do things they shouldn't do. It's abuse of power. But there's not a lot of them. There's only a few. And the few are making it bad for the good.
You get all that everywhere. It doesn't matter. But the thing is that if you are a cop and this is what's happening in your life, you know for a fact, and I know they put you through the training, and I know all that, and I know that, don't put your hands in your pocket. Don't go anywhere near your pockets. What's the first thing when they tell you when you get pulled over? Stay in your car. Don't put your hands on the steering wheel. Don't, things like that. I mean, if you're gonna disobey a simple order like that, what do you think that they're gonna do? Especially now in this world today, man. If you're just gonna lean over and they tell you to keep your hands on the wheel, or they tell you to do this or to do that, and you don't do it, you don't comply with them, they're gonna draw their weapon because that's their defense. That's what they have to do.
You know the family of the guy in Garfield is suing now because they said that the police shouldn't have fired so many shots at their relative.
But he doesn't make.
But then again, it was okay for him that we had to close a whole community down and shut everything down because of him. Because he was unhappy because he didn't want to pay rent. Okay. Well, first of all, the family knew that this house, his brother owned this house. For 2 years now, he lived in there for free. All he paid was utilities. Somebody bought it in bankruptcy. Why wasn't he told about the bankruptcy? Okay, somebody bought this in bankruptcy, and then they evicted him because the real estate company that bought it wanted him out.
Right, okay? Sure.
And he was giving them a hard time. Well, this is my brother's house. According to what I hear, the family has tried to get him help, and this was the last resort. And now he's dead. And that's. I guess it's okay when he's firing shots out the window and almost hits people. I guess it's okay when we had to evacuate the streets and for hours kept the community of Garfield in limbo. People had to stay in their homes.
Yeah, I remember that.
I lived near that place. If I would have still been living there, oh my gosh, you understand what I'm saying? I mean, see, people don't look at the other angle of this, and I've said this many times, Bill. It takes two to tango.
Absolutely. There's always
all the police's fault. Some of this is your fault because as a family, why didn't you do something about this guy? You knew what he was doing, and then he wouldn't take the help from the family. I heard. So this was it.
You know what, brother? Everybody's trying to get an easy way out. If they see something, the cops are doing their job.
Yeah,
what they got to do, and then all of a sudden now there's a death, and that's tragic in any manner. I don't care who it is, but everybody's trying to get this easy way out, and it's a shame that somebody had to lose their life because the guy didn't comply. And in fact, that the real estate company bought it, and they were getting him evicted anyway. He should have been gone a long time ago anyway, but he didn't want to do it.
Knew about this. And there were police reports out of the yin yang from city
Oh,
police about this guy. This is
okay.
what's all disturbing, Bill. Here, you need to people need to take a look at this stuff first before they even go there about a lawsuit. You know.
Absolutely.
All right, let's
Absolutely.
talk about the Mills Mall. The ownership dodged a bullet. They paid up the taxes that were owed. So
Okay.
now Mills Mall is not up for sale. A lot of people that were interviewed this week said they don't trust it. They don't trust the ownership. They agree with me that I wouldn't trust the ownership either, because I've said this many times, and you and
A lot
I
of
had this
lies.
discussion last week
Yes,
about
we
the
did.
Mills because of the past owner's lies.
Yes.
They were going to put a NASCAR track in there, an indoor water park that was going to blow out Splash Lagoon, and things like that, and that never happened.
Nope.
And I know they interviewed a lady who is a township supervisor for one of the towns nearby. She said, "I don't trust them." She says, because they've lied to us too many times. Do you
Now,
realize the tourism that could happen if them things really came about?
now, okay, so make it a little bit clearer for me. So did these people own the mall before? They didn't
No,
own the
they
mall.
own them all now. And what
Okay, okay,
happened
so
was
they
they
own
owed Fraser Township $12 million.
okay,
And they took them to court, and it was going to go into court, and they were going to bankrupt or auction off the mall
for a
because they
dollar.
didn't pay the taxes.
Yeah, I
They were
got
going to
you.
auction off the whole mall because they didn't pay the taxes. Well,
I
the
got you.
ownership came up with the money, and now they have paid the taxes, and now they're back to owning the township people, the supervisors of all the nearby townships have come out and said that they don't believe them, and I don't blame them for not believing them, because
I don't.
I
That's
don't trust them either. Look at
that's
the
a
roads up there. They finally patched the potholes up there. I was up there yesterday to eat at the Olive Garden up there for my birthday. Remember I
oh
told you I went to Olive
yeah
Garden?
yeah
I
yeah
went to the
yeah.
one up there. So
Okay.
they patched the potholes finally up there. Last couple of times I went up there, I almost lost my axle
Oh
because the
my gosh.
potholes were bad up there. Yeah.
Yeah, they
So I
were
mean,
bad.
if you
That's
can't
right.
patch potholes, then obviously there's a problem in here. And now they're supposedly the townships now want some judge or somebody to order them to sit down with these people and come up with a plan to make money out of that mall, because that
Um.
mall's just sitting there right now.
Well, when I passed that on Saturday, because I went past that Saturday,
Right.
that I told you that there is a scare fest up there.
Yeah, they're having that inside the mall. Yeah, I saw that.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a really
They
good
were,
turn.
the parking lot was full, and that was right after church.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, it was full for
Okay.
that, and that was right after church. And
Maybe this is
Kennywood's having record numbers for these haunted things now, because
okay.
now I'm hearing people are starting to go out more now. I guess it took 3 years to figure out how to get out of the house from COVID, I guess, you know?
I don't know. Maybe it's just a Halloween thing.
Oh, yeah.
Never, never been into the Halloween thing. That was never me. Used to take my kids around. They used to come over here and clean up over here, but not me. I was never into the Halloween thing. So maybe I don't know, Ralph. It's kind of a shaky. That's kind of a shaky branch to be on.
Well,
right
you
now.
can't trust any of the ownerships because of the
No.
lies of the past.
No,
I mean,
that's rough. That's rough.
and now it's going to turn into another Century 3 situation, I think.
We hope not. We hope, because that's
I
a
hope
nice
not,
mall up
yeah.
there.
It is.
It really
It
is. I mean,
It's-
when it
it-
was open, I used to go up to Sears all the time.
Oh, it's crazy up there. Well, Sears isn't around anymore. We all know that. Kmart's
Yeah.
not around anymore,
Right.
So
But Sears up there was real nice. You used to go
it
up
was
there,
nice. Yeah.
get your stuff, and that was
And
it.
yeah, I heard it was a nice mall. The indoor mall was really nice, the Galleria. I heard they have trade shows and stuff up there now, like train shows and car shows and stuff and whatever up there. I heard they
Well,
have every once in a while.
I do
Gun
know that.
bashes.
Oh, I didn't know about all that, but I do
Yeah.
know that their theaters are real nice up there.
Yeah, they are. They are. It's
They're-
just sad
they're-
that
they're
this
nice.
is where we are with this. You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
It
You
should
know.
never meant. Yeah, it should never went like that.
No,
Absolutely.
it should not have. And they should have been hauled to the carpet for all the stupid decisions they made.
There's
And
a
it's
lot
just
of land up there, man. I thought that they were
yeah.
going to have all. That would have been an
Hotels,
amazing.
apartments. They could have built if they would have built that indoor water park. Can you imagine the tourism and the tax
Oh
money
my!
they would have
That's what
got
I'm
out of
saying.
that?
Oh my gosh!
Jobs. I mean, come on.
12 million wouldn't have been enough. It wouldn't have been anything. Nothing would have.
Anything. They would have paid their
No,
taxes. They wouldn't have owed.
absolutely.
you know.
It would have been all taken care of, especially, and I knew, again, I don't want to keep going back because I know we got to go
Right.
forward, but, the bowling alley and all that stuff up there, that wasn't going to do anything. I don't care what you were. We weren't going to
Right.
do it.
Right.
Not up
Yeah.
there.
Oh,
Not,
yeah.
not the
I
prices.
heard it didn't even last 6 months. That's what I
Oh,
heard.
I did. Yes.
Lucky
I
strike
was
bowling.
surprised it
You were
lasted
the one
that
that
long.
called that. You told me that you said they were charging what, $20 a game or something,
Yeah, something like that for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. Anyway,
Oh,
that
it's
ain't gonna
lucky
happen.
strike bowling. I don't care if it's 1,000 strike bowling. I mean,
That was all.
bowling alleys were having trouble to begin with, and then on top of that, you want to charge $20 to go bowl just
Yeah,
for one game. I mean, come on.
$20,
I mean,
shoes and all that stuff. I don't know. It was a small, as you would say, you have to take out a
take out a
small
loan.
loan.
Yeah, a small loan. Yeah,
Yeah, a small loan. What do you need? I need about 5,000 because we're gonna go up to the Lucky Strike tonight. We're gonna be in debt up there for a little bit.
yeah.
That's all right. So, you know,
All right, I want to talk to you before we go off the air here about Hillcrest Farms, Richmond, Ohio. Call them today, 740-346-5442, 740-632-2894. Tonight's key topics were brought to you in part by Hillcrest Farms of Richmond, Ohio, 45 minutes from downtown Pittsburgh, right up in Richmond, which is up the hill from Steubenville, Ohio. Go across that beautiful suspension bridge, go right up the hill there, and then Richmond, Ohio is not too far away. Also, you can email them at hillcrestfarmsohio@gmail.com, and they have a website, www.hillcrestfarmsohio.com. Get on there, check out their inventory of what they have. They have a bunch of nice package deals. One of them is their ground beef deal, $95, get 20 pounds of ground beef. You can't beat that
stuff.
anywhere. And it's whole
No.
hay grain beef. It's not that colored preservative filled stuff that you buy in the store that they overcharge you for. So, I mean, but that's what it is. So, head up to Hillcrest Farms today. I tell you what, man, they have some great. Their ground beef is great. I use it for spaghetti and meat sauce, sloppy Joe, hamburgers, everything that. And I tell you what, it's some great ground beef. So anyway, 740-346-5442 and 740-632-2894 are the numbers to call. Get a hold of them. They'll give you the appropriate directions to put up in your GPS because you will get lost if you don't do it the way they tell you to do it. So get a hold of them through Gmail. Take your kids up this weekend or whatever before the weather gets bad, and head up there. It's not far from Pittsburgh, not a far drive at all. Go up there, visit Caitlin and Taylor. So tell them you heard it on this program or on one of my RW media programs as well. Hillcrest Farms, Richmond, Ohio. All right, Bill. We're pretty much going to finish up here. I got some small topics we're going to talk about. We're going to wrap it up. Rite Aid is closing up a bunch of stores. The first casualties are the one in Bloomfield, and they're closing the one in Murraysville, right on
oh, no
22.
kidding. I didn't
Yeah,
know that. Oh,
yeah. They're
man.
$2.8 billion in debt. They are being sued by pharmaceutical companies for misleading customers. There's some stuff there that the FCC or the FAA or those people who regulate sales would not let CVS or Walgreens buy them. Okay. Gosh, 5 years ago when we were down in Raleigh in 2019, they were fighting down there with the North Carolina legislature about Walgreens buying Rite Aid, and I mean, so it was in up here. Shapiro wasn't letting it happen either. So Rite Aid's in trouble. They're closing up stores all across the country, close to 400. So we're
Jeez.
gonna, yeah, it's tough, but that's the way we see it on that. Utz Snacks is closing their plant in Hanover. They claim, and I quote, that it's not manufacturing enough. It's a low manufactured plant.
Really?
But I hear that they're going to reopen it at a smaller capacity because right now it's too large of a place and they're not manufacturing what they should out of there. So computer upgrades, this technology they're coming up with and stuff. But Utz Snacks, that's the way we see it. Greater Pittsburgh Food Bank has expanded over there in Duquesne, which is great for folks who need food, and it's
Yeah.
great that they're expanding over there. That's the way we see it. Duquesne Light Workers have approved a tentative agreement to stop a strike possibility. That was going to happen on Saturday. I'm glad that happened. I know some folks who work for Duquesne Light and are happy that this has happened as well.
Absolutely.
The Writers Guild has reached a tentative agreement. In resolves to that happening, the overnight shows are now have new shows coming up tonight.
Oh.
So because of the writer's strike being done. So apparently these scripts were written already ahead of time, but they couldn't release them because they had to get the signatures of the writers. Now that they got the signatures, because the strike they've reached a tentative agreement. The other ones are still out. You had the small actors group, and the editors are still out, but the writers have ratified a contract. And we're going to find out what happens with these motor companies and their strikes and things like that. So we're going to find out what goes on there. I think one of them passed the tentative agreement, one of the motor companies, but we're going to see where it goes, as well. A lot of this going on. A lot of these companies got COVID money, and they didn't 15, 60 an hour 10 years ago, and they're still making 15, 60 an hour. That's disgraceful. For our automotive workers, that's disgraceful.
Yes, it is.
And coming up this week, Bill, the 1-year anniversary of the Post-Gazette strike. They're still on strike.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I had Ed Bacino on from the Pittsburgh Union Progress newspaper 2 weeks ago.
Didn't know that, brother.
And he told me it's not good. I mean, they claim, Post-Gazette keeps telling the media that we're sitting down with the union, but the union says that's not happening. And Alan Block doesn't care. I saw an interview and I played it on my old TV show the way I see it. He told the reporter from the Pittsburgh Union Progress, if you don't like what goes on, or if they don't like it, they can quit. That's what his wife said to this reporter. And of course, Alan Block had to use the F-bomb. Get away from me. I don't want to hear from you. And it was like, it was at some mall or somewhere. He was getting something at a Dunkin' Donuts, a coffee or something, and they cornered him. And they asked him some questions. They said, well, if they don't want to work, they can quit. If they don't like it, leave. Now, that's a bad attitude to have when you have a union and the Blocks they ought to be ashamed of themselves. I've blasted them many times on this program. And I played that video several times, and it's terrible. It's disgusting. It really is.
I agree with you. It really is. Yeah. You're right.
1-year anniversary is coming up this week, and that's sad. That's really sad. Real quick here, once in a while here, Bill, when we have time, we'll do a top 10. I have a top 10 here. Top 10 states with the highest welfare rates. Okay. Number 10, and I was shocked at this, Georgia. Georgia's number 10.
Okay.
Number 9, Oregon. That doesn't surprise me. I've told you about Portland.
Yes.
Okay. Number 8, Florida. Number 8 is Florida. Yeah. Yeah, Florida. Well, people down there don't make enough money because it's a right-to-work state. They don't have too many regulations down there, for different things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you could pay somebody a low wage down there and you can't fight it. I mean, it's, number 7, Illinois. Number 6, Alabama. There's some cities in Alabama that are some very poor cities, and it's bad down there. Oklahoma's number 5. Number 4, Mississippi. I heard Mississippi's having problems. West Virginia, number 3. Yeah, well, we pretty much know about that.
Yeah.
Number 2, Louisiana.
Okay.
And number 1, and this is a shock. I don't know who did this top 10, but I think this is a shock. New Mexico.
Get out.
New Mexico.
Well,
I heard Albuquerque's not even that great. I heard Albuquerque was supposed to be one of the best places to live in the United States, and now I hear that it's here we are. So.
Well, that was a hell of a top 10 there, bro. I didn't expect to hear some of that stuff for sure.
Yep. So. Bill, you have any final thoughts before we wrap things up here tonight?
Oh, folks out there, yeah, just be safe. I know that's what it is, but just be safe and just watch yourself. I mean, just take every day as it comes, because we don't got very much left on here. But just be safe and have try to have a better output and a vision on your week ahead, I should say. This way here.
Yeah, I had a bunch of key topics here. We'd be here all night. I mean, but the one we did go over tonight was just it was just crazy. I mean, the stuff with the city and the county and my God,
that's inside stuff, man. I'll keep saying I'll say it again, inside. Yeah. Just be safe, guys. Because I love to see you guys around for next week and more weeks to come too.
Oh, absolutely. All right, Bill, have a great night. Thanks for being part of the show.
Hey, thank
And
you,
that was
brother.
Bill Canatta, my co-host. We're here every Monday night, 7 p.m. YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter X platforms. Don't forget to tune into the rest of my RW Media shows throughout the week. Tomorrow night's the radio show. Wednesday, the Turnbuckle Talk. Thursday, Wrestle Talk, and Saturdays, the external boom, and also telling it like it is. So don't forget the RW Media shows all this week. Keep on my social media pages and platforms, and we'll be telling you what the schedules are, what time, date, how to tune in. Until next Monday, for Bill Canatta, I am Ralph Williams. Have a great night. Thank you.